Sexy? 알아.
Hello everybody, today we're gonna take a look at the new upcoming A-rank singer, Thistle. Now her Japanese name is the same kanji as the Chinese. I don't know how to read it in Chinese, I'm sorry, didn't bother checking. Her Japanese name is Azami, which is the same meaning as Thistle, so if I sometimes say Azami, please, you know it's Thistle. Okay, so Thistle, the most interesting thing about her is that she's a magic Umbra, so she's gonna be doing magic damage. This is her normal attack range. Sorry, my mouse. Okay, here we go. This is a normal attack range. Her normal attack isn't anything special, so let's go on to her out. Now, as you know, Thistle will move into a tile of choice when she uses her out and can break up to 2 cores. So basically, she deals certain percentage of her own attack's magic damage plus certain amount of core. In addition, she will enter what might be called a burning blade stance, whereby is more than likely she'll do more damage. Actually, she will not do more damage. Wait, this part here says that she'll add a burning debuff to the enemies that she's attacking while she's in this stance. Now this debuff's the effect is here, but just let me finish this. She will, while she's in this stance, she cannot automatically regain energy. Obviously, she will also get an additional attack from being in this stance, just basically like additional magic attack, certain percentage of her own attack. Then for the burning debuff, it's a DOT basically, obviously magic DOT, and will only last for a certain amount of time. So this is very interesting because it implies the existence of a new team, but as to why, let me just go through all her skills first so we'll understand this. Now her passive one is very simple. This is the area of effect. For every certain amount of time that passes, Thistle will do damage as well as apply the burning debuff to all enemies in this particular AoE, and obviously it's based off her own attack. Now her passive 2 is the one where I say this is probably why a new burning team is coming, if we want to call it that for now. Every time a certain allied sinner adds a burning debuff to the enemy, or a burning mark if you want to call it that, that sinner will gain a certain amount of magic damage increase, and that increase, that buff basically, will only stack to a certain amount and go on for a certain amount of time. So there's a max number of stacks. This is interesting because that means that other sinners have to be able to apply the burning debuff, which we know now no one can do it right now, right? So that means Vanilla will very likely be our first burning enabler in the sense she'll be forming a team with Thistle in this case, which also implies that there is a good chance Vanilla will be a magic endurer. However, we do not know yet because Vanilla's info is obviously not up yet. They always release the A ranks sinners info first. But anyway, this is the speculation for now. She's basically the core break, like her out will do core break damage. Then her mania intensifier is going to be important because it increases the amount of core damage her out does, which means she needs to be at least rank 2 to get the 2 core break. Her ECB basically adds a new out. Now this new out can only be used once per battle. It will put a buff on the sinner of choice. Okay, the target sinner will then have a certain amount of attack increase, and every time they use normal attacks, they will also, or rather Thistle will then apply the burning debuff mark on said enemy. So there are certain sinners whereby this will definitely work better than others, or perhaps only one. But anyway, this is interesting because this buff obviously means that it's additional damage for a very short amount of time, probably 10 seconds, so again during the core break phase. But a good thing to note is that it's not just magic damage, it's an actual attack increase. So it can be used on any sinner in any team. It's just which team you want to put her in. Obviously, she's going to belong in the magic team, so there are very few sinners that actually benefit the greatest from this. Only one, in fact. We'll know very soon. In fact, you can probably guess who it is. But anyway, let's look at her out. Now you can't see it because it's a bit small perhaps. You can see that there are 2 icons on the enemy. I will link the original post as always in the description below so you can have a look at it yourself after this video. There is a flame icon on the enemy here, so it shows that they are being debuffed by the burning debuff, if you want to call it that. Aside from that, you can see that Thistle's blade is now on fire, so that means she's in the stance. Quite obvious, honestly. So next is her ECB. Now, here she gives the ECB to Shalom, who is obviously the greatest person that should receive this, because Shalom's normal attacks can reflect, and therefore she can apply more and more of the debuff to more and more enemies basically. Once she applies the buff to Shalom, you can see that there's a huge flame animation under the feet. Very obvious, she has the buff. Then when the enemies get attacked and have the debuff, they will then have a red swirling kind of paint or flame below them. So again, it's also very obvious that they are debuffed by the burning, even if they don't have the burning debuff there, the icon I mean. So yeah, that's good to know. Now finally, this is a rank 3. Very beautiful. I think this can even be a wallpaper, honestly. I like the design, the background as well. It's great. Right, so as a matter of confirmation and checking, I decided to take a look at the trailer again. Here, you can clearly see Vanilla. Okay, this is Vanilla. You can see the flame animation on her arm, but there is unfortunately no debuff icon here, so we don't know if she has the burning yet. It's a good guess that she will have it because there's flames in her actual animation. So quite honestly, I think she will be the cornerstone of a new flame team or burning team. However, it's speculation at this point. Vanilla's info will only come out tomorrow, so we will have to wait until then. For now, okay, I would say that I'm really interested in Thistle because she's beautiful. And I used to use Gekabijin in the early days of Dark Zone when I didn't have Raven for the 2 core break. So for people who do not have Raven, Thistle will be a lifesaver in the sense that you will have an additional 2 core break ability with some kind of buff as well in Dark Zone, for example, whereby core breaking is now an absolute necessity rather than just damage. So for newer players who have just joined or who have started like just a short while ago, I think when Thistle comes, it'll be a great thing for them to build Thistle. Then for veterans though, it depends on how your magic team is looking like in BFL and DZ, but it also depends more on whether or not you want to build a new team. Don't forget that building a new team is expensive. I mean, veterans probably don't feel as much of a pinch anymore. Just that what happens if we end up getting a new team with the burning stuff that is almost as expensive as the current summoner team. Like if you think about it, Life Lost team only uses 1 S. Once you get Dreya, you can build the entire team because the others are just A and B. The summoner team, however, has 3 S that are cornerstones. 2 at least, maybe 3, depending on how you look at it. So that's really expensive, plus the shackles and all if you really want to think about long-term huge damage in TOA, though it's not necessary. So there will be the dilemma here with the burning team. The good thing is that for Thistle, at least she's A, so if Vanilla is the cornerstone, that's an S. At least you have 1 A already, so you may have been thinking like, oh, at least it's only 1 A and 1 S. But here's where it gets interesting. Only time will tell how many burning sinners we are going to get if we have this new team, which means we might have to wait quite a while for them to release all the burning sinners, like maybe 4, maybe 5, depending on how many they do want to bring as part of a new team. So veterans will have to make a decision based on the information that will come out in the next month or maybe few months. And another thing to remember is that Vanilla and Thistle are coming out really close to the 1.5 years period, which means we might get another limited sinner because it's Lunar New Year soon for them. Yeah, that's about it. For me, I'll build Thistle definitely. I like the design, should be useful to me in DZ, and I love the Garden Sinners. As for players in general, please look at your own account and decide when the time comes whether or not you want to build her, because she's going to be welfare obviously. And most importantly, the information in this video is preview only. So we don't know the actual numbers, we don't know what her shackles will do, we don't know if she'll be strong or weak at this point in time, but she seems very interesting right now because of the new burning team. And that's it for this video. I'll see you tomorrow when we look at the S rank Vanilla's information.
Sure.